Hello. So I'm doing a video today, done with work. It's Friday and already poured a little glass of wine, but figured that just because I'm feeling a little bit lazy and like relaxing right now or watching a movie or something, we still have time to stretch. And so I just thought maybe that if you have evenings like this where you don't feel like stretching, you'd rather just like hang out and watch TV and drink a glass of wine, well, there's no excuses for stretching because it's gonna take like 10 minutes. So if you're in the same kind of mood as me and have a glass of wine poured and wanna do some stretching anyway, let's do it. So I'm just gonna bring this with me. We'll start on the stairs. So I think we're just gonna do a few stretches like calves, hamstrings, IT band, hip flexors probably. So these are stretches that are especially good if you're walking or running and just need to free up your body a little bit more because you know how you get with those repetitive movements, you get tight and you get stiff. So, but these will make anyone feel good. So I'm gonna put the phone right down here. Hopefully you can see me and hopefully I'm not covering the mic. So sorry if I sound muffled here. So we'll start with the calves. So right on here, I'm gonna go one leg at a time. Let's start with the left and I've got half my foot on the step and my heel I'm letting hang down. So I'm feeling a stretch right back here in the back of my calf. And like you probably know, I'm not good at counting or holding things for an exact amount of time. So I aim for about 20 or 30 seconds per stretch. We'll do each side maybe twice because the first time you stretch, it feels pretty tight, like you can feel the restrictions in there. And then the second time you stretch and the third time, like each repetition you do, it loosens it up more and more. So do as many repetitions as you feel like you need. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to the right foot. So half of my foot's on the step, my heel's hanging down. But notice that my knee is locked out. So you can do a couple different calf stretches with your knee bent or with your knee straight. I'm gonna do with my knee straight. So with the knee straight, it's gonna work on the gastrocs more, which that can be another video if you want me to explain the different calf muscles, but we're just gonna do it with the knee straight for now. Maybe a few more seconds here, and we'll get another repetition on each side. So with these, you can see that I'm holding it pretty still, pretty static. I'm not bouncing too much, but sometimes I feel like it. So you can put a little bit of a bounce in there if that's what feels good. But for me, I went on a run yesterday and I was a bad girl and did not stretch, so I'm extra tight. So I'm just kind of holding it there, so you can kind of rock back and forth, or you can bounce a little if it feels good. If it feels good just to hold it still, then do that. And you might also feel a little bit of stretch or tightness in the bottom of your foot. So your fascia, which is this layer of connective tissue underneath your skin, it kind of holds all your muscles together. It goes underneath your foot and it's directly connected to your calf. So these muscles in here, that fascia is continuous all the way down through the bottom of your foot. So if you feel tightness in there, or if you get plantar fasciitis, or you have just tightness or soreness in the bottom of your foot in general, or especially after you're walking, this stretch can help with that, help loosen it up a little bit. And maybe I'll do a little video in the future with like how to mobilize that a little bit more. Okay, we got that. So we did the calves, and you can do that as many times as you want or need. Next, we're gonna do the hamstrings. So lots of ways to stretch your hamstrings. I'm gonna show you this way against the wall because I feel like it's pretty effective and also pretty passive to do. So what I've done is I've found a wall where I can put one foot up on it and this leg I can just let kind of go straight. So just like that. So what I'm gonna do here, the goal is to keep this leg straight and bring my bottom up all the way to the wall and keep this leg straight. So this is ideally where you want to get to. A lot of people with tight hamstrings are going to be way back here and feel a lot of tightness. So just scoot as close to the wall as you can while feeling a stretch in that hamstring. So I'm doing it this way because I'm feeling a little bit lazy, like I admitted to earlier. So holding here, so I've got basically a 90-degree stretch here going on. And what I'm doing is I'm actively pressing this knee towards the wall. So that's going to give a little bit extra. And honestly, I'm not feeling too much of a stretch here, but you might be. I think for the second round of hamstring stretches, I'll show you another way to do it. Okay, let's do the other side. So I'm in a doorway here. So I'm just gonna move over to this side of the doorway, put one leg up, and the other leg is out. Set that down. Okay. And so the leg that's up against the wall, I'm trying to push my knee straight towards the wall. And this leg that's on the ground, I'm trying to keep flat on the ground. Okay. And we'll hold for 20 or 30 seconds. And if this is too much of a stretch, remember you can scoot your bottom a little bit further away from the wall. This is a nice passive stretch for someone who has exceptionally tight hamstrings. So for the second round, you can stay against the wall if that's what's giving you a stretch. I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to do it with a bench. As soon as I figure out where to put my phone, I guess I'll prop it up with my wine glass. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me still. So I'm going to use a bench. Put one leg up. I'll do my left leg first because that's what we started with earlier. And then what I'm going to do is have my leg out straight, sit up straight, and then just keep my body straight but lean forward until I feel a stretch in my hamstring. You're going to get more of a stretch if you bring your toes back towards you. Don't point them, rather bring them back towards you whenever you're doing this hamstring stretch. You could feel a stretch all the way from the bottom of your foot up the back of your leg. Don't do this if it's too intense or if it's hurting anything. You're just really looking mostly for a stretch in that hamstring. So we'll stay here for maybe 10 more seconds or so. And we'll get the other side. And you don't need to do the stretch this way. If you felt a stretch doing it, against the wall, then you can just do it that way. I just felt like I needed a little bit extra of a stretch. Okay, gonna switch sides. So other side, same thing. Leg is straight, body is straight, and then just hinging forward at the hips. You know you're doing it right if you feel a stretch in your hamstrings. So on the back side of your thigh. Try to get your knee pushed down so that it's straight and stretching. And then if you can, bring your toes slightly towards you for a bit more of a stretch. And I'm going to hold it for maybe 5 more seconds. Okay. All right. Let's do another stretch. We'll do for the IT band. So this is something that gets tight with a lot of walking or running as well. Let me scoot this back so you can see. Okay, so with this one, let's do the left side first. So I'm gonna let's cross the right leg in front of the left leg. So from here, put your weight into your left leg and just kind of push your hip out to the side. So my left hip is pushing out to the left side. And you might already, if you're as tight as me there, you might already feel that going on. So look for that stretch right there. It's going to be on the outside of, basically the outside of your hip area. If you need more of a stretch, just push deeper into that angle, and then you can bring your arm all the way up and over. Okay, and I'm actually going to get a few repetitions of that because I feel like I need it. Okay, so just do as many as feels good for you. Or you don't have to go all this direction, you know, you can just stay here if that's what feels good. Okay, one more. Okay, and then let's switch sides. So this time I'm gonna stand on my right leg with my weight going through my right leg. My left leg's crossed over in front, not really putting weight through that one. And then hips go out to the side. And here again, I can already feel that stretching over on this side of my hip on the outside. So pushing into that a little bit. Then a moment, I'm gonna do those big arm swoops. So if you want to, you can do them with me, or if you feel good enough hanging out right here, that's good too. Okay, here we go. Up and over. Oh gosh, these are good. Okay, that was 2. I'm gonna get 3 more. So feeling a stretch through your right hip and all through your right side, basically, if you're doing this arm thing like I am. So feeling a stretch all through here. Depending on how tight you are, you might feel it in more places as well. 1 more, I think. Okay, let's get another rep of those. We don't move in that direction often enough. So I'm gonna go straight to this position and then run right into the arm swoops. If you don't wanna do the reaching over, then just stand and do these kind of stretches, okay? Working on the outside of that hip. Okay, 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 more. Okay, switch sides. Same deal, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm gonna get 1 more. 5. Oh. And it feels good. It's like relaxing and effort at the same time. Let's move to the ground. This is a stretch that I do a lot. So this is a hip flexor stretch. So in a lunge position, put a pillow underneath your knee if you need to, but in a lunge position, and we're gonna move just like this, okay? So opening up those hip flexors right there. Oh, most people need this stretch. I definitely am one of those people. So I'm sort of pulsing into it. I'm so repetitive, but do what feels good to you. If you feel like just holding it, do that. If you feel like going back and forth, do that. And then go just to the intensity that feels good for you. Okay, gonna switch sides. So in this one, my left foot is forward, right foot is back. Put a pillow underneath your right knee if you need it, and you're looking for a stretch through that right hip flexor. So across the front of your right hip. You might feel it in your quad also. Speaking of quad, for the second round of this, I'm going to add a quad stretch into this stretch. You don't need to do it. It's just an idea. It's something like I feel like I need right now. So you can try it if you'd like, or just stick with the same hip flexor stretch that we just did. So this will be the last one. We won't make this too many stretches. So here we are. Lean forward again into that hip flexor stretch. And if you want to do what I'm doing, you pick up that back foot like this. So this is going to give you more of a stretch through the front of, this is my left foot, so through the front of your left thigh, through your left quad. And then adding that hip flexor stretch also is just a very, it's pretty intense stretch. And it's just kind of comprehensive. So I'm stretching a couple things at once. Whoa, as I tumble over. Stretching a couple things at once, which just, why not do that than just do separate stretches. So gonna hold this for maybe another 10, 15 seconds or so. You can also prop, I think I've done this in another video, put your foot on something like a couch and prop it up there if it's difficult for you to reach back and grab your foot. Okay, and then we're gonna go to the other side. So here, left foot forward, and then my right foot is back. Find my balance, and then go right here. So pulling up my back foot, stretching my quad, and trying to keep my posture upright. So I'm stretching my hip flexor and my quad, which technically is a hip flexor too, but you'll feel more of a stretch this way. And we'll hold out here for just a little bit longer. See, it's worth it, right? Instead of just being lazy and drinking wine and watching TV, just get a little bit of stretching. And then once you get these stretches memorized, you can do them while you watch TV and drink wine, really. So, all right. Well, cheers. Thanks for joining me. Have a good evening or afternoon. See you next time.